Hey friends, welcome back to Creating Inner Beauty. I'm Liz and I'm an intuitive coach and healer. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is how do you strengthen your intuition and learn how to listen to your own inner wisdom, even when that little voice of doubt creeps up. Your intuition is basically your soul's voice, the way it's communicating with you to lead you toward what is in alignment for you and away from what isn't. But in a world that values logic, noise, and constant doing, it's really easy to disconnect from your own intuition and to disregard your inner wisdom. And so sometimes it takes some practice to relearn how to listen to it and how to trust it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to share 3 elements that you need in your life to help you hear your intuition and to help you start to trust it and move forward in your life with more clarity, ease, and flow. Now, before we dive into the actual elements you need and the practices, I did want to start with just a little bit of information about understanding what your intuition really is. Basically, your intuition is just a sense of knowing that comes through without your mind having a chance to analyze. And this can come through in different ways depending on how your intuition speaks uniquely to you. For example, you might feel your intuition as a gut feeling or a sense of calm around what is good for you or unease around what is not good for you. You can feel goosebumps in your body, or you might just have a clear feeling of knowing, like I know whatever, without knowing how you know. All of these are ways that your intuition can speak to you. And I do have a video where I go into this in more depth and I go over the specific intuitive senses and how they may be speaking to you. So I'll link that down below if you'd like to do a little bit of a deeper dive into this. But just know that your intuition is a natural part of you. It's not something that you have to learn. It's just about tuning into yourself, learning how it speaks to you, and then actually listening and following the guidance from your intuition. And I did also want to say that it is so normal to have doubts about your intuition, especially if this is early on in your journey and you're just starting to learn how to pay attention to it, or maybe relearning how to pay attention to your intuition after a period of time where you've shut it down. That's very common. I see that with a lot of my clients who have shut down their intuition at a young age for a number of different kinds of reasons, and they're coming back around to recognizing that they are very intuitive and that they have this inner wisdom, this inner voice that guides them. It's just a matter of listening to it. And in the first part of the journey, it is so normal to just doubt it and to be feeling like, am I making this up? Am I hearing my intuition the right way? Can I really trust it? I've had those doubts myself. And all it takes to navigate this period of time is a willingness to start to tune back into it, to understand how it works, and then just consistent practice with doing it. So you can get to the point where you no longer doubt your intuition. It's just a matter of time and, like I said, willingness. So let's dive into those elements that you need in your life to help you do that. So first, I think one of the things that is super important in learning how to reconnect to your intuition is making sure that you have quiet spaces in your life. Your intuition is going to be something that really is kind of a very soft voice. It sort of gently whispers to you or gently nudges to you. It very rarely shouts unless it's like an emergency type of situation, right? That's important. That's a great thing that when it shouts at us in an emergency, it can really help protect and guide us. But I think if you're here listening and watching this video, you're really wanting your intuition to be this constant guiding presence in your life. And I know that that's how I wanted my intuition to be. And so what I needed to learn how to do is to listen to it in a day-to-day way when it's speaking to me very quietly, very gently. So in order to do that, you need to have some quiet space, right? If your mind is constantly filled with noise, with social media, with endless to-do lists, it's going to be hard to clearly hear your intuition. So you need to start basically giving yourself at least a few minutes every day to just get quiet and be. You can do this, of course, through meditation, through just sitting and gently breathing, through sitting quietly with your hand on your heart and asking, what does my soul want me to know right now? And then just listening gently. You can do this through taking a walk in nature, especially like a tech-free walk, right? If you're going to be listening to a podcast or a YouTube video or that kind of thing, you're going to be focused on that content coming in, not on what your intuition is telling you. So I'm talking about times that you integrate into your day, into your week, where you're not having input, you're just sitting quietly and tuning into yourself. That's what you need to carve out. And at first, honestly, you might not hear that much. It does take a little bit of a practice. But if you do this consistently, even just for a few minutes every day, you'll start to recognize those subtle nudges and whispers from your soul, from your intuition, and you'll start to get a sense of how your intuition speaks to you. So first element is making sure you have those quiet spaces in your days and in your weeks, okay? Then the second element that you need and a practice that you can use is writing down your intuitive nudges and what's coming through for you, right? So we'll call this intuitive journaling. This is also sometimes called automatic writing. So I really recommend having some time in your day or in your week to sit down and grab your journal and just basically free write. And what you want to do is take a few deep breaths, really center yourself, and then right at the top of your page, in your journal, dear higher self, what do you want me to know today? That's a beautiful way to start. Very simple, right? And then just begin to free write anything that comes to mind without editing, without censoring, without judgment. And you may, may be part of you that's like, this is crazy. This doesn't make any sense. Nothing is coming through. And you can even write that down. That's fine. Write it all out. But over time, as you begin to write out whatever comes to mind, you're going to notice that all of a sudden, you're writing about something you really needed to release, or you'll find yourself making statements that you really needed to hear, gentle affirmations, a certain insight about a problem that's going on in your life, a direction you can go. Wisdom will start to come through to you, and then you'll find it on the page, basically. So, and sometimes what even happens is you start to notice a different tone in your writing. Like at first, it's just kind of like you and your mind writing about things, but then this loving, calm, wise tone that feels distinctly higher starts to come through. That's your intuition, that's your higher self, your guides, however you want to think about that, beginning to come through on the page. And what's especially beautiful about having this intuitive journaling practice is that over time you can go back and read what you wrote, and you'll begin to pull out what was in pieces of intuitive guidance, and you'll begin to see how your intuition speaks to you, and then how it was right about certain things, and how when you followed the guidance that you wrote down, you brought yourself to places and experiences that felt in alignment and helped you feel more in flow. So it acts both as a record of your intuitive development as well as a technique for you to access your intuition, okay? Now, third element that you need in order to help yourself strengthen your intuition and begin to learn to trust it is following the nudges that you get through your intuition, right? So this is going to build your intuition and build your trust by taking small aligned actions. So whenever you get a nudge, an intuitive nudge, and you're like, oh, I think that's my intuition, or you've been writing in your intuitive journal and you're like, oh, this piece of guidance came through. Follow it, do it. Call that person, take that class, go for that walk. If the intuitive nudge was to rest. Follow those intuitive nudges. Every single time you honor your intuition, you strengthen it and you strengthen your trust in it. So think of it like kind of like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it will become. And you don't have to trust it perfectly right away. Don't stress about, am I doing this right? Am I doing this perfect? Just start small, experiment, and notice how your life flows differently when you're doing the nudges versus when you don't and you dismiss them. And I think over time, you're going to really see that when you follow those nudges, you get more and more of them, and it will take you to better and better things. And that looking back at that journey and that process is going to help you trust your intuition more. And also know that your intuition is never fear-based, right? And so when you follow those intuitive nudges, you're going to feel an increased sense of calmness, centeredness, and feeling like, okay, I took an action and that felt right. No matter, exactly what unfolds, you're going to have that sense. If you're intuitive, if you're having a feeling or experience where you're getting more and more fear, that's not really your intuition. That may be your mind kind of getting in your own way. So I just wanted to make that distinction clear as well. Okay, so I hope these three elements, these three practices that you can do in your day-to-day life help support you in developing your intuition and starting that journey of learning how to trust it. It is a journey. Don't expect it to happen all at once. It happens over time, but it will happen over time. Your intuition will become a trusted friend and something that you can always follow toward more and more alignment with your soul and with where you're meant to go in your life. So if this video has resonated with you, I'd love to hear which of these elements that you feel like you're going to start to incorporate into your day-to-day life. Share with me in the comments. And if you'd like to go deeper, of course, in developing your intuition, you can check out my energy healing and coaching services at my website, creatinginnerbeauty.com. And I'd love for you to subscribe, to stick around, to give this video a like and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I create more videos about intuition development, manifestation, personal healing, and sacred living. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.